What up? What up? What up, world? Man, I messed up my hat and everything on that, man. We're back. It's Monday. We're here grading. I'm Rasta, aka Anthony. I switched it up that time. I'm here with Mike. He's on this side. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
What up, man?
Classic in the house.
Yes,
and
sir.
we're waiting on Frank. Frank should be joining us here soon. What's up, everybody out there in Get Right land, I guess you would say. Man, I'm excited, man. We're gonna do some grades today. Always excited for that. We had not like a special guest last week, I should say. I mean, we did have a special guest on the show, but we had a special drafter. We had Dim Boy's wifey in the house on Friday, so that was a lot of fun. So hopefully we can stir stuff up in that household. I definitely did my part on that, so we'll see how that all turns out. So that should be a lot of fun, man. So yeah, so what you been up to, man? I know you've been deep diving into stuff. We've been talking football for almost the last hour.
Hell yeah.
Going back and forth on a ton of stuff. So definitely excited to get into this show, man.
Me too, man. Always excited.
Absolutely. So let's just get the house keeping it. Yeah, see, I knew he was gonna hit me with that one. Yeah. What's up, Dim Boys? How's it going, man? Looking forward to this one. And he said, take off that stupid hat. See, he got me. He was here for this one. I snuck it in last time because he wasn't here, but he's here now. I gotta get the haircut, man. So it's gonna stay on for now. But next week we'll take it off for you, just for you, Dim Boys, just for you. All right, man. So let's do this, man. We had a 12-team, 1 QB redraft. Or first, you want to get into a quick news? I mean, there's not too much going on.
Yeah, there's not much going on.
I'll just say it. Judy pulled his groin in practice today, for those who don't know. It was a minor little tweak. He seemed a little upset. I guess he walked off, but
yeah, they said they looked frustrated, and it could. I heard anything from a groin to a hamstring, so it's lower body. Just anything somewhere in that area is not good. Yeah, but it's not good for a guy like him. He's very explosive with how he runs. He's very good in particular with running routes. So he could have extended it a little bit. He could have tweaked something. And even if he did, that's a decent amount. Now, I understand it's early. I understand all these different things.
Thankfully, it's early.
But you got to remember, most of those things, anything that you get early can still come back and haunt you later on in the season. And that happens a lot. So it's one of those things where you got to kind of, you take it with a grain of salt, but also understand that this is a little, like, to me, it's a tad concerning, but enough for me to kind of just, I'd rather take Sutton anyway. And I like Sutton before the injury anyway. So for me, I'd rather just go down that route. And then, if you want, maybe get those extra shares of Tim Patrick and best ball, go for it.
There it is from the guy himself.
Yeah.
Right out of Classic's mouth. You heard it right here first. Anything else?
I mean, beyond Aaron Donald getting his contract, biggest non-quarterback got paid. Dalton Schultz is, refusing to not, and this is actually a good example. Look at what happened early with Curtis Samuel last year. I agree, Dan Boys. Same stuff. You just got to be careful. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
We're not going to say that it's going to be the same, but it does linger.
Right.
But beyond that, Dalton Schultz is looking to not show up at voluntary OTAs, and that's because he's upset about the contract extension talks. They're not going well. Apparently, there's a lot going on there, and it apparently just escalated very quickly. So it's a little odd for to hear about that. He seems like a very level-headed guy in general. But either way, if he signed his tender, so either way, he's going to be getting paid $11 million. Which is the base salary for the franchise tight end. So
not bad.
No, not bad at all. So he's pretty,
paid like set. A top 3 tight end, right?
Yeah. And then he gets to skip out on, he has an excuse to skip out. So that makes things a little bit, better. So,
yeah. Well, and speaking of Curtis Samuel, report came out last week. I don't know if you guys touched on it on Friday, but
no, I didn't.
Curtis Samuel hype train. Woo-woo. Is coming, can play everywhere in 2022. I guess that also includes the bench because he was there all last year. So that's what's up. Oh, We got
Look
somebody
who it
in the
is. Here, let me
house.
get him in there. There he is.
You ready, Frank?
I already did it.
How's it going, man?
I already
Oh,
did
I
it
think
first.
your audio might still need to be fixed, but it might be coming through.
What? Testing? Do I need to turn it up or what?
No, he's there.
Maybe. Drunk Squidward, what up? What up?
Oh, I gotta change that.
You got me, Mike?
You'll get it.
No, I hear you.
Okay, good.
You sound echoey to me.
Yeah, he's a little echoey.
It doesn't sound like you're coming through your mic. It sounds like you're coming through your regular speakers. So adjust
Correct.
that setting. I'll mute you
Is that
for a
better?
second.
That's even
Nope.
more echo. That's like echo up.
That's worse. Take it out, test it. We'll keep moving here. So I think that's all for news and notes, man. Nothing really else. I mean, Tavon Austin signed with the Bills, but that's just a depth signing. I think is what, like the wide receiver 4. That guy's,
They cut some other receiver that's been there for a minute. I think Malik Williams, I think it was. They cut him instead and picked up a 30-plus-year-old, small wide receiver. Who knows?
right. And I'm sure those on Sleeper saw DeAndre Hopkins is full go for training camp, but definitely a full no-go for the first 6 games of the year. So keep that in mind. Dim Boys is saying he can hear you, but does it sound terrible? I mean, we can hear him. We just got to find out if it sounds good enough, if it's good enough quality enough for you, Dim
Is
Boys,
it all
or
bad
not. So you just let us know.
I'm like, bad
Oh,
audio,
dude, yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you sound bad like that.
You
We're a
sound
high
like-
quality show.
You sound
done
like your
better, Frank.
phone. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
You
you
sound
need to
like
adjust the
it's-
Shit every day.
settings. Yeah, adjust your settings. Make sure it's like your input is through your mic and not your
check the settings on your
StreamYard.
Yeah, check that.
All right. So anyway, we'll move on. We digress. I guess that's a
bottom
perfect way to just roll into the promo, right? So while he's fixing that, let's do it. Pop it up, Mike. You do the thing.
I got you.
For those of you who can, underdogfantasy.com, your best ball, DFS, pick 'em, ton of stuff there. Check them out. They'll match your deposit up to $100. Use the promo code GETRIGHT when you do to get that deposit match. It helps us out. And, of course, have some fun, man. A lot of fun. We'll be doing best ball drafts as we go here throughout the year. So those will be a lot of fun. Keep your eyes out for them. We'll post them in the Sleeper channel. Was going to do one this weekend, but time got away from me. Couldn't get enough people in there, but we'll continue to roll those things out. They're a lot of fun. Underdogfantasy.com. And keep in mind, the winner of the Best Ball Mania 3 drafted in June. They drafted in June the
That's crazy.
winning team. So get that value now for those of us who are degenerates, like all of us here doing fantasy football in the beginning of June. Go in there and get paid. Do it. All right. Promo code get right.
Hey, so how's that? Is that better?
Nope.
Not really, but it's okay. We can deal with it. I've heard worse.
Is that better?
Actually, that's starting to, I
A
think,
tad better. Yeah.
So we'll get there. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Bring up the draft board, Mike.
I got
Let's
you.
do it. I'm hands-free now, guys, just so you know.
This one better? Is this the one?
Look at that. Hands-free.
Oop.
Oh, maybe I
Is this
should
the
put
one?
my
No,
hands in that.
not
one.
yet.
Ah,
You're all right. I think you've had better. There's still a setting that's not correct, but no, that's bad. That's worse.
yeah. Drunk
What?
Squid, where they talked about James Cook being, they were talking about not him being the lead back, but more of a complementary role to Devin Singletary. So maybe he does take it eventually, but I doubt it's this year.
There it is. Yeah. Well said. All right, man. So let's do it.
Dude,
Again.
as good as it gets.
I think
There
you're
you
good
go.
now. That's
a
actually
lot
better.
better than it was.
better.
Yeah.
So we have a 12-team, 1 QB redraft mock here, PPR.
Yep.
Is what we're going to be grading today. So for those who are newer to the channel that don't know, we're going to go through kind of grade these teams out just based on our feel. Mike and I have also ranked these teams in order of which we would, want to take over the team. Mike and I were both in this draft. I did rank my own team here, and we were kind of getting an argument on that today. So that was a lot of fun leading up to the stream today. So we'll see what side you guys are on. You'll let us know. Let us know your feedback on these teams, the picks you like, the picks you don't like. And then, of course, you can always drop in any questions you have of your own. Put them in there. We'll get to them if we can in between our breakdowns. And again, just send them on over. So without any further ado, let's get into it, man. We have in the one spot, Mr.
Hey,
T.
before,
Give.
before you guys get started, I didn't get a chance to finish grades, so go ahead, go with yours, and I'll just come in at the end, possibly if there's anything to add, because unfortunately, time crunch was a crunch. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to just get you.
No worries.
All good. Yeah, start working on it.
I just want to give you a heads up because I didn't know you were going to get to talk to you guys beforehand, and I was trying to get on here, but
it's all
No
good.
worries.
Go ahead.
It's a show by the people for the people. This is
Right.
what we do. We're just regular people.
Mhm.
We're just again degenerates that like to just get into this way too much. So here we go. Mr. T Give drafted in the one spot. I don't think I've really had a team that's graded out too high in the one spot yet. I haven't
No.
really seen a team put together since we've been starting these Friday night mocks. But let's see how this one falls. So we have T Give in the 101 grabbing of course Jonathan Taylor, JT off the board, comes back with James Conner in the second, grabs his wide receiver 1 and Tyreek Hill. Then in the fourth, he goes Antonio Gibson, so grabbing his RB3. Pivots to tight end with Darren Waller in the fifth, followed by his wide receiver 2 and Rashad Bateman, followed by Gabe Davis in the seventh. Then grabs his second tight end in the eighth and Dallas Goddard, followed by his QB in the ninth, which is Kyler Murray. Then he goes wide receiver and Michael Gallup in the 10th, followed by Sky Moore, wide receiver for the Chiefs in the 11th. Then goes Albert Okunwebabom. Oh, I might have messed that one up. I'm trying to get better at
You're
that
getting
one.
better at it. Yeah.
I'm trying. At least I'm going for it. We
Yeah,
got
I'm not
Albert
gonna
O in the 12th. We have Tua in the 13th, and then Kenneth Gainwell, running back for the Eagles, coming in with his last pick in the 14th as his RB4. So overall, I came in with this team as a B minus. It's my number 9 ranked team if I were going to take teams over in this draft. To me, just kind of lacked a little bit of wide receiver depth, like the strong and early RB talent. To me, it's an okay build. Just kind of lost me with that second tight end in the first 8 picks, and then grabs a third tight end altogether in a redraft. I think dedicating 3 spots to a tight end, just in my personal opinion, isn't something I'm willing to do. So again, for some of those reasons, although strong in some places, in a good amount of places, just a lack of kind of depth overall. A lot of work kind of to be done if I were to take this team over. So again, I had it come in at a B minus and my number 9 ranked team. What you think, Mike?
Yeah, honestly, we kind of picked the same numbers in the same grade. For me, it's the 9.
Again?
Yeah, again, and we actually have a few of those throughout here. But honestly, that one, we hit it right on the nail with it being 9. I mean, there's little running back depth, if anything. Gibson is not the healthiest runner in the world. So you lose him, you're pretty much left with JT and James Conner, who is another person who is labeled as injury prone. So those are very big question marks for me. And he's in a Gibson's in a running back by committee, and it's not like just like 2 guys, it's like 4 guys. So for him, he's in a rough spot. I don't mind the 3 tight ends as much as you do. I would, see how things go and then trade one off or something like that. Waller and Goddard are very, top end tight ends, so they're not bad. Bateman, Davis, I like the picks. I like Gallup too, but they're like high-end wide receiver 3s with mid wide receiver 2 ceiling if they were to do anything. So they're okay in my opinion. They're not like fantastic. Sky Moore, I'm still not sold on yet. So still, it's just not one of the teams that I would want to like grab,
Right.
Doesn't tickle my fancy.
There it is. So we're the same. Frank, anything to chime in on this one?
Honestly, I'm opposite a little bit. You
but
guys, I agree with you, Anthony. It was a little bit much on the tight end situation, but I like the team. I like the people on there. The Bateman, Davis, and Gallup setup right there. They're all ready to explode. They should be having their breakout seasons and things like that, and that's why I think he's stacked them or got those kind of guys. And I like them. he's going to end up doing all right with those guys. Again, that tight end situation, but it is trade bait. Maybe you could get Goddard and Waddle out of there and end up with just 2 tight ends at most. I think it is a little bit much to have 3, but overall, I do like the team. I mean, I'm in the B plus range with them. I know you guys are B minus, but I'll stay higher on it because I do like the players that he chose. I think they all mesh well.
There it is.
Nice.
There it is. Love it. All right, man. So let's do it, man. I'm gonna steal the reins on this one. I'm gonna have to break this one down, guys.
No, go ahead, brother.
One of our OGs, Dim Boys, was able to get his wife in here, man, for a draft. She's been one of our supporters, one of our original subscribers as well. We always give Dim Boys and Nee and NYG guy, the 3 horsemen, but and Calbeck is kind of the 4th horseman in there. But really, Dim Boy's wifey, man, she was one of those original subscribers, man. She was one of the first in helping us grow the channel. I think Dim Boys, I think she calls us Dim Boys as boyfriends or something like that. Spending time with your boyfriends on the stream. So again, just big shout out to her for letting us steal him for the amount of time he does spend with us. Truly a friend of the channel, friend of ours.
Definitely a bromance.
Absolutely. And we love it, man. We love the support.
Yes,
And so, like I said, I'm gonna break this team down here. I think she did some great things with this team. Goes Derrick Henry in the 1-2 spot, followed by Deebo Samuel, then Ezekiel Elliott in the 3rd. Goes Patty Mahomes in the 4th. Grabs Godwin in the 5th. Allen Robinson in the 6th. Goes D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins in the 7th. Nook. Then goes Ramondre Stevenson in the 8th, followed by Garrett Wilson, wide receiver for the Jets in the 9th, followed by Damian Pierce, running back for Houston in the 10th. Then goes Nyheim Hines, RB2 behind Taylor in Indy. Then she goes Gronk in the 12th. Then goes Mecole Hardman with the Chiefs in the 13th, another receiver. And then goes Logan Thomas in the 14th. So I do have a lot to say with this team, and again, I give her all that praise because unfortunately, I had to give it one of the lower grades here, man. I had to come in with the C+ on this team. It's my number 11th ranked team that I want to kind of take over. But to me, she started off really strong, just for me, and she got a lot of good players. It's just really risky for me, so that's why it's kind of skewed. Like, I think it's a great team, and the potential of this team is easily an A. So don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't hate on me yet. Dim Boy's wifey, don't hate me. Okay. It's a great team. It's just a lot of risk, high risk, high reward type players that she grabbed. Now, if everything hits and comes all back, I don't want to see this team in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to see this team in the playoffs. My issue is with the depth that you have. Obviously, you're going to have to work the waiver wire, because you're going to have to throw some of those guys in the IR spot right away, pick some guys up off waivers, but hopefully you have enough depth to even field a team to be able to get to the playoffs before some of these guys come back or get to full strength to start producing for your team. So like I said, if you can just sneak into that last playoff spot, ideally if it's a 6-team playoff versus a 4-team, then I do like this team. But again, if I'm just kind of looking at all of it with what I know right now today, with not knowing when those guys exactly are going to come back and knowing Hopkins is definitely out for 6 games, I have to just kind of rank it a little lower. And again, it's no hate. It comes from a place of love. That's why we do these mocks. We're here to just give you that.
So what's the
critique.
grade?
I came in with a C+, and it's
C+.
my number 11th ranked team. So it's not the end of the world. And like I said, I don't want to see this team in the playoffs, but just right out of the gate, it's hard to field the team because it is 3 wide receiver and 2 flex, and you barely have that to start out of the gate. So again, that's where I'm at. But overall, great team. Hope you come back, with this again, get in another draft, and prove me wrong. Shut me up, get that A out of me, and let's see what we can do. So I'll turn it over to Mike. What you got here for Dim Boy's wifey?
Yeah, I mean, for Dim Boy's wifey, I mean, I have her at my 5th ranked team that I would want out of this. Like Ant said, there's a ton of potential for this particular team. I see the values of the picks that she went with.
Great.
And for me, honestly, I like the wide receivers. They're pretty solid. You know, Wilson and Harmon are really good long shots, and they have incredible upside. I do think the Godwin and Hopkins picks are a little risky, but they're good enough, you know, because Godwin's going to be out maybe possibly for the first 3 weeks. Hopkins, we already know, is 6 weeks. I do like Allen Robinson a lot. And I do think him, you know, I think Debo and Robinson with Harmon can hold down those 3 spots for the time being. That's just me. You know, the Gronk pick is a little much, but I understand it. If he's playing, that's a
Oh,
solid
that's the
pick.
best value. Yeah,
Yeah, you'll definitely get great value for it. And I honestly think the Pierce pick is actually a really good value for if he were to be able to take over that particular, you know,
over
running
Mac.
back
Yeah.
core. I mean, they're a bunch of old men, and he's the youngest of it. So for me, I am completely okay with that. You know, grabbed him a little early, which is fine. He's jumping up. So honestly, he's not a bad pick right there. I like Stevenson as well. I think he has the ability to take over. I'm a little low on Zeke, just because their line and, you know, they have a few things. You know, I know they're going to use him, so his volume is, you know, one of those things that are keeping him as high as he is. And Henry, I'm always a big fan of. So honestly, I like the team more than, you know, I think it has a lot of potential to do well, and especially near the end of the season, like you said.
There it is.
Yeah.
Just real quick, Drunk Squidward's in here saying Garrett Wilson going to be
Oh yeah.
a stud. Great pickup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
As long as Wilson ain't struggling too much with accuracy. Dustin, what's up, Dustin? Dustin
What up, brother?
citing. Dustin saying she had the best 7 picks.
Yeah.
I don't think I can argue with that. I mean, they're
Yeah.
pretty good picks there.
Yeah.
Again, no hate at all there. So
I
there
think
we
we
are.
all agree that
Frank,
we like
where you at?
the wide receivers. I think we all agree we like the wide receivers. I'm not so high on Elliott this year. His production has been dropping, but
Agreed.
they've been saying he looks slimmer and faster than he has in many years, but it's almost like that every year that they say that.
Yeah.
I don't see him being what he used to be, and I'm going to stay away from him this year. As much as I love the Cowboys, I just I need to win fantasy too. There's money involved. So
how do you feel about their line?
That's another concern. I mean, you got to see how well it meshes and how it really pans out. We lost a lot of major pieces up front, and I don't, I think that Dak's going to be flinging it, and hopefully CeeDee Lamb and Gallup are the beneficiaries of what happens in that. You know what I mean? But I just don't see Elliott doing that. I have more stock in Pollard, maybe even taking over the position this year at some point because of that, and also. That's also the other reason that I probably won't touch either one of those because you're not going to know who's going to be the guy at some point when and how much you're going to get out of that one guy. They might just start splitting carries a lot, which lessens the value for both of them. The Pierce and Ramondre Stevenson, Naeem Hines, it seemed like desperation picks at the point. Garrett Wilson I do like, but I mean it just the wide receivers and obviously the quarterback is what's holding this team down. And getting these tight ends late that way she did, I think she got really good value there. But the running backs is what's killing it. So I'm right there with you guys. I just give it a regular standard C.
Yeah, Frank doesn't do pluses or minuses, as you guys know.
I try not to.
You guys got to do something exceptionally well or bad to get
the plus.
A plus or a minus.
Since I have the mic, I started grading ahead of you since you started talking about these guys, and since you're up next, Ant.
Oh yeah.
What up, Brandon?
You take it McCaffrey right off the bat in the 1-3. Mark Andrews, he ended up number 1 last year at the tight end, right? Antonio Brown, DK Metcalf, which I think is going to be, I don't know who's quarterbacking over there in Seattle. Sutton, I think his stock is rising, right? Or is he the one that just got hurt? Right?
Judy got hurt.
Judy got hurt, right? So Cortland Sutton is really rising.
I'm really surprised he's in the 5th. He should be in the 4th. Yeah,
and I don't think you guys knew that at the time, right?
No, this was today. This came out today.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's just got lucky on that pick there. You know what I mean? Sanders, Edmonds, and Penny, another 3 sets of running backs. You're just kind of coming back up around because of McCaffrey, and then you're how to fill that in. I really don't care
completely agree with Frank in this particular build. I'm being nice, giving it a C in a lot of ways, in my opinion. I like the Andrews pick. I think Sutton is probably the best pick out of this whole group. I'm not a fan of CMC. I'm not a fan of AJ Brown. DK Metcalf. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. I'm not saying that he can't be good.
There's just too many question marks there.
Agreed. And then on top of that, with Chase Edmonds and Penny, I'm not a big fan of those two running backs for your running back 3 and 4, just for the depth pieces. I just don't I don't want that uncertainty with those guys. The Ayuk pick's fine. He'll be fine with whoever's there at one point. Gage is going to be good for the first, 4 weeks or whatever it is. Derek Carr, like we said, is definitely going to be the QB that he's playing because we don't know how long Watson is, but I'm going to guess anywhere between 6 and 8, but we're not going to get into this conversation today. But beyond that, it's just not a team that I like scream to have. Like, it's not one of those I'm like pounding the table like, oh my God, I really want this. Like, it just doesn't do anything for me. That's just me though. Like, I'm not a big fan of those pieces other than Sutton, other than, of course, Andrews. I like Carr late there. I don't mind Carr as a late round quarterback, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I thought that was probably his best pick.
Yeah, for me, I mean, he's Kirk Cousins. Like, he's that QB 12 at the end of the season that can, win you lead, or QB 10 that can, win you a couple weeks here and there and do well. Especially with the pieces that they did and what they, did in the offseason to try to help him on the line. So exactly. I think he is complete. I think those are the only things that I like about it. Other than that, the Chase Edmonds with the running back by committee. And no, I didn't just,
I'm making that a thing.
Right. It's something that I don't trust. I just don't. There's just so many pieces in that backfield. Now, are they going to throw it more? Maybe. Are they going to run it more? Who knows? And even if they run it a lot, it doesn't mean that Chase is going to get a ton of touches. They have to split it amongst a lot of people. I thought Gaskin was going to get a ton of touches last year with Brandon Flores, and that didn't happen. Now McDaniels comes in, and you never know who's going to be the better guy there. They have Sony Michel, who did well when he was in LA. There's just so many pieces, and Penny I just don't trust. Yeah, he had 6 really good games at the end of the season, but before that, how many games has he played in his career? 10? He's been in the league for 4 years. Like that's where it's like, yeah. So that's just how I feel about it. Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
No, it's okay.
A lot more. It was more.
No. He rated this his number 2
This is my number 2 team. There's only one other team in this whole draft that I'd rather have besides my team. So
yeah, that's why.
But that's how you should feel, right? I mean, you stand behind your guys.
Yeah, for sure. These are none of my guys.
Full
except
disclosure:
for
Henry and Anderson were auto picks.
Yeah,
as you guys know, that's not me drafting 2 tight ends typically, and I would never draft E. Anderson. So, as you guys know, but I was doing some promo for the show and interacting in the chat, and I missed those last 2 picks right there around the turn.
Yeah. Excuses.
But either
excuses.
way, but you guys are sitting there arguing about my RB3 when the rest of my team's fire, so it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rebuttal. Not the time for that. I've already did it for an hour.
We already
did. So Mike already knows everything I'm going to say. And Frank, I'll tell you why after we get off the stream. So we'll move on. Did you give you a grade and rank on this one though, Mike?
Yeah, he gave you a C. Yeah, I gave it 11 and it's 11 and C. So
Okay.
That's my last rank team. Yep.
So you guys tell me what's up, man. Yeah. Let me know what you like or don't like about this team. For all you guys out there, leave a comment. Throw it in there. If you're watching after the fact,
let's get some comments going.
YouTube,
you guys agree with the C grade?
I'll do it there.
We were both consensus C right now.
Yeah,
Anthony's like it's an A.
Yeah,
but we all think different on how we play.
So, what do you guys got on there?
Where are we at, Dim Boys? Well, yeah, hopefully Dim Boys give him my grade now before I give him his grade. But that's okay. He knows. He knows what's going on. All right, so we'll move on. Mike, you want to break this one down? This is your guy, Flag Dog, in the 4th spot. So go ahead and read off his team.
Yeah, so first we got Austin Eckler going in the 1 spot. David Montgomery from the Chicago Bears. We got Mike Evans from Tampa Bay. We have Mike Williams from the Los Angeles Chargers with Brandon Cooks, Ross's favorite wide receiver. We got Darnell Mooney from Chicago. Oh, lately. Always. You've always been a fan. I know it. It's one of those secret fans. Tony Pollard from the Dallas Cowboys.
True.
Zach Ertz from Arizona with Russell Wilson from the Denver Broncos. Good old Russ. Can't wait to see what he does there. Darnold Henderson. Good old Tim Patrick from Denver to stack that up with Russ. Tyler
Algier.
There we go.
Right.
Tyler Algier. I'm always going to get it wrong. Josh Jackson from the Washington Commanders. And Robert Chunyan.
Johan, but it's okay.
Whatever.
We got you guys.
Care.
We got you guys here.
Jay Dotson. There we go.
He needs to be somebody first. Do something, and then we'll call you by your
there
name.
you go. There you go. So for me, I gave this is my second, favorite team off the board. Honestly.
Ding, 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 ding. Top 3 or top 2.
Yeah, top 2. And honestly, I really like this team. His running backs are slightly weak, of course, but they have really good upside for the ones that are on their bench. They're good, solid handcuffs for his team. And I think Algier is one of those picks that can actually turn into the RB1 throughout the year if everything works, in his favor. I'm a huge fan of this wide receiver core. I think these are great pieces. They're very consistent. Maybe for the exception of Mooney, who might be a little off because of Fields. But otherwise, I just love the talent that they have for this wide receiver core. Huge fan of Russ and Ertz. I think Ertz is probably one of the most slept on tight ends in this particular, this year. He's typically going in 8th to 10th round. And honestly, he's just being disrespected. I think he'll do great this year. Even with McBride there, I still think he has an opportunity to do well. But other than that, I like this team.
There it is. Number 2. And grade was A- on that one?
Yeah, I got an A- on that one.
Ooh, there it is. Flag Dog.
Yeah.
There it is. Putting it down. Frank, where you at? I'll go last on this one.
I really like it also. I like this construction of the team. And first off, just going 2 running backs, getting all these wide receivers right after that, picking up another potential number 1 running back like we were just talking about. He could be replacing Elliott. Ertz, where he took him, still takes Russell Wilson, who, for all intents and reasons, could be a reborn Russell Wilson and have to cook over there in Denver and get some things going with the, Mile High Stadium, the light air up there. Maybe he'll throw the ball a little bit better. I like Henderson and Algier where you got him. Patrick coming up with Denver again, and even just taking Robert Tonyan at the end there, kind of sewing up the team, dude. I thought it was very good construction. I'll give him a B though, still, regardless. I think that there's some parts right there for the running backs that could have been improved a little bit, I guess. Yeah. But hey, everybody's we're just nitpicking at this point. I really think it's one of the top teams for sure.
So. Yep. And before you go, we got them boys chiming in. He goes, I give Anthony a C. Not a fan of any of the picks other than Andrews, Sutton, Carr, and Ayuk. So
it's all right.
Another person that agrees.
It's okay. Again, get it out, dim boys, because man, you should see my notes here when we get there, man. It's these guys. I'm not.
It's the longest one. It's his longest one.
It is. It's just, it's bad, dude. It's bad. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad. But it's the same. It's literally the same exact sentiment, just flipped. And you could just tell we're on just opposite spectrums as far as guys we like and don't like, man. But that's what makes fantasy football go round, man. That's what makes it go round. But yeah, so getting back to Flag Dog here. I gave him a B+, also one of my top teams. His team came in at my number 4. And again, take that with a grain of salt because I am ranking myself at number 2. Just keep that in mind. So this is the number 4 ranked team for me, B+. Again, echoing a lot of the stuff that you guys said. Strong running backs, love the construction, hammering out those skill positions. Waiting on that tight end and that quarterback. Love that you got your 4 wide receivers and 3 running backs before you even thought going tight end and quarterback there. Getting great value, just well put together roster, and just kind of ironing it up with some of those lotto picks at the end that are like scratchers that could pay off and really boom. So again, top team. Don't really need to spend any more time on it. Flag Dog, you know what you're doing. Keep coming out, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, believe me, he always anytime I'm doing a show. Can I come?
yeah.
Yeah. So I
He's
got
all
them. I
over
got
it.
Gus. I got tons of people. I was in a mock with them today, and they were like, anytime. Like, can I come? Like, please.
Right.
So we got RJ. What's going on, man? Would you take Saquon over Monty? I bet that was a dilemma.
Yeah. So he had to choose between Monty, Elliott, Barkley, Jacobs, Hall, ETN. So those were the following running backs that went out of there. I'll start with you, Mike, as the resident Giants fan. Are you taking no explanation needed? Are you taking Montgomery or Barkley?
Barkley.
Barkley. Frank, what about you? Barkley or Montgomery as your RB2?
I'm going to go with Montgomery.
There it is. So I'll split the difference, I guess. And I think RJ, I'm going to have to go PPR. I might take my chances on Barkley again, half or standard. I go Montgomery is how I'm going to answer that one. I'm going to try to cop out on that.
No, I understand what no, honestly, I understand what Ant's saying, but I'd rather take the value with Barkley at the we're gonna go into the next team in a minute.
Oh, I think he's talking in that spot. So like if you were
understood.
in that
if it was in that spot, I'd still take
I'd go take Barkley. Yeah.
I think Montgomery's a better.
I'm pissed that Fournette went a few picks before me. That's where I'm ultimately mad because I would love to have Fournette over any of those guys we mentioned. But
well, Fournette went really early, and I mean,
I don't think that's early enough. We'll get to that.
Exactly.
Oh, Frank's on. Okay.
Yeah, he's getting slept on. He's getting slept on. Come on now.
He is, man. He's one of those league winners this year. All right. So Flag Dog, great draft, man. We'll move it on here.
Well, them boys.
Yeah.
Wanted to say, I got you. I think Henderson.
I forgot.
Yeah, I got you. I think Henderson has a chance to be the steal of the season. He doesn't trust Akers. He's one guy I'm targeting late in drafts for sure. And I agree with him. We had the conversation the other day with Big Travie when he was on. He said like Henderson is probably one of his biggest like late round steals that you can get. That's a borderline handcuff, but could probably win your league later on just because of the Akers pick. And Akers not fully. We don't really know what's going to happen with Akers. So I agree with him. I think that that's a great pick.
Yeah, and I think he did it twice with Pollard and Henderson. You know what I mean? Kind of
correct,
shoring up those offenses and taking those number twos that are probably possibly number ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And say, I mean, you could extend that down to Algier as well too.
Yeah,
because all that the only people ahead of him are Patterson and
that's it.
Williams. So
Williams,
yeah, Damien Williams.
Oh,
but yeah, I mean, they're competing for touches behind Cordell, and that's just that's a 33-year-old running back.
Well, they're in a build now. They're going to use
that guy finally got his season in though, man. Cordero does a flash.
Oh, he did. He got one in there.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does to follow it up.
He only waited like 10 seasons before that.
I don't know. I find myself taking Algier like this because you have a potential RB1 late in the year.
Yeah. No, he's definitely worth it.
You're getting in the 12th, 13th round,
Yeah.
So we'll see. But again, that was Mike Davis last year, and we saw how that turned out. So
I like his size. I mean, he's 5'11", 220. Like
he's just down here because of that 4.6 40, man. So we just don't know, is that his real speed? Because when I watch the team, man, he looks faster than 4.6.
It don't. No. See,
it's that 40. Maybe he wasn't feeling.
But I like the size, man. 5'11", 220. He's got good
guy.
Build, man. He's that
3-down build. So
yeah, for sure.
There it is. And I have him in Dynasty, so I'm kind of it happens.
Nice. I'm hoping he falls.
Start leaning that way. All right, so we'll move on. We'll move on here. Try to get through the rest of these. We have.
I can break down my brother.
Yeah, we got in the 5th spot here. I'll let Mike break it down. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, so we got my brother drafted in the 5th spot. His handle is Jay Birdie, 53. We got good old Dalvin Cook from Minnesota. We got Travis Kelce from the Chiefs. We got Saquon Barkley, a good old homer pick for the both of us. Jalen Waddle, Mari Cooper from the Browns. Amon St. Brown from the Detroit Lions. He got Joe Burrow in the 7th, which I know he's happy about. He's incredibly high on Joe Burrow. Michael Carter, another good pick in the 8th. He auto-picked Jalen Hurts, so let's just make this clear. I saw it when it happened, and he even expressed his being upset when I talked to him the other day.
Dissatisfaction.
I don't know. He was just dissatisfied. dissatisfied with his pick. There we go. He ended up going Tyler Boyd next with Alexander Madison from Minnesota. Then he went with Chuba Hubbard, Devontae Parker, and Van Jefferson to finish it out.
Nice.
Now,
just real quick, is Chuba Hubbard the handcuff for McCaffrey? Or is it Devontae Foreman?
It's Devontae Foreman.
I thought so.
I was going to
I'm
actually
just making sure. I just had to get out that real quick.
No,
we got to see how that goes.
Yeah, no. Honestly, that's actually one of my breakdown parts of this is. So for me, I rank this team my 10th best team that I want to take off the board. So for me, that's my second worst.
Whoa.
It's a B minus, and
you didn't like it like that.
I didn't like this team compared. No, and I like pieces of this team. I just didn't like how everything fell, and at the end of the day, it just wasn't one of my. Yeah, it's just how it came together. I didn't like it. I like Carter. I like Madsen. I think they're great handcuffs. And while Carter could have his own standalone value, I understand that the auto hurt him a lot with having Jalen Hurts as a second QB. He can turn this team into something at one point because he could trade off one of them for, something that he can use throughout the year. Maybe a RB, high-end RB2 to help his team a little bit. Other than that, like I was saying at the very bottom, I understand we're going for, those dart throws and stuff, but Chuba is going to be buried on the depth chart for Deontay Foreman. It's just Foreman had a great season last year. He's a hard-nosed runner. I like him. And McCaffrey, it's almost inevitable. So you kind of have to think about it, but we won't have that conversation
Don't speak those
today.
Things into existence, Mike.
But honestly, it's going to happen. And for me, the wide receivers are safe.
And I'm the Reaper.
Yeah.
You guys are the Reapers.
For you, yes. But in this case,
we're doing the opposite.
Yeah, we're trying to do the opposite. But here, Jalen Waddle, Cooper, Brown, Boyd, Parker, all these guys are very safe options. They're very good possession receivers. And they're just they're not the sexiest picks in the world, but they are very consistent. So I don't mind the wide receiver part of it. That's one thing that you could kind of get me towards it. Cook, I like. Barkley and Kelsey. Those three are good at the top for me, but everything else kind of near the end, it kind of killed my mojo with what I wanted. Brown, I would have rather had, Allen Robinson at, instead of St. Brown. I probably would have gone, I don't know, Christian Kirk or, James Robinson or something, just a little bit better than, the Jalen Hurts pick. But that's just me, though.
There it is.
Yeah.
I won't say too much because we came at the same
same
B
thing
minus 10th ranked team on this one. So I don't know if it's bad, I guess you would say, or it's good, or we're both seeing kind of the same things in this team as far as how it came together. So again, I'm not going to stress too much on it. Again, B minus and my 10th ranked team. Just would have taken, certain guys other places. Thought Kelsey falling in the second is a steal.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, other than that, it's weird because you look at each individual player, you're like, yeah, I like them, but like you said, how it all comes together, I'm just gonna It seems
I liked a lot. I liked a lot of. It seemed like he was either reaching, but then there was some value at the same time. It
almost like he wasn't drafting in the right spot, almost like for the guys.
Sort of.
Wanted.
Yeah. I mean, if he went with, like I said, Allen Robinson or Gabe Davis or Bateman, like I would have liked this team a little more. Even at the end where he goes with Tyler Boyd, there's a lot of Landry. I would have loved if he had Landry at that pick. I think he's a little bit safer, but in a better position to do well. DJ Chark, I like too. All these little things that could have made it a little bit better for me.
All right, go ahead, Frank. Yeah. Since Mike's breaking it down again.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you guys give him all these, B plus, B minus, and then you're like, he's still 10th. I don't see how that's possible, but all right, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That's why we started ranking instead of just giving.
I think he did very well. I don't care for Kelsey, but whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's just the thing.
Okay.
Waddle, I really like. Amon St. Brown, I really like. Let's see how Cooper Kupp does over there in Cleveland. I'm sorry to see him go. But I mean, he was doing solid for Dallas. Cooper. He's, he should be fine over there. Burrow, I like. Even though he got that auto pick in Jalen Hurts, I think it's going to help him. As you mentioned, he could trade him off or whatever. Madison, I saw him as a handcuff and Chuba Hubbard, but I mean, like you guys are saying, maybe it's Deontay, and let's see how that works out. At the end of the day, maybe these people drop like flies. Running backs are getting injured a lot lately.
Yeah.
So he might be a guy. You know what I mean? You never know. And it's kind of late anyways. I don't think it's hurting them too much.
No.
But I really like the core of the team. I really liked, and I thought that was a pretty decent team. I still give him a good B. Like you guys are giving a B. I still would have took him a little higher. Probably would have at this point maybe third or fourth in my rankings.
Nice.
There it is.
No, that's good.
There it is. All right. So moving on. Let's see. Frank, you want to break this one down?
Jeezy? I didn't like him so much. Go ahead. With Najee Harris, who I like, CeeDee Lamb taking him up there. Kyle Pitts. I mean, Cam Akers, I'm sorry. That's a good core that you're starting with. Jerry Judy, we just heard got hurt, but that's okay. I mean, that's pre-news, all that kind of stuff. I think you got him at a good spot there. Landon. How do you guys say it?
Drake London.
Drake London. There we go. Another guy that everybody's hyped up on. Let's see how he does. Let's hope he does play well over there in Atlanta. Kareem Hunt, that's a nice handcuff, I guess, there. Or even, starter possibly at times. At Cleveland, they seem to split so evenly sometimes. Yeah. And especially if Chubb goes down, what you got over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Moore, I really liked him last year. I think he was doing all right. I think they're not going to have a DC season this coming year. Aaron Rodgers, MVP last year, should be coming back strong, got paid. What else do you want? He picks up the rookie and Watson over there at Green Bay as well. Might as well handcuff him with Rodgers there. And White coming up. I don't really know too much of Rashad White, so I'm not going to really speak on him.
Really good possession, like a pass catcher. He's a good pass catcher.
There you go. Yeah,
number two for Fournette.
Don't know too much on him. He's, I wait for these guys to actually play in the NFL because there's so many of these guys that come up that just don't pan out. You know what I mean? There's just too much of that.
I agree. They said Keyshawn Vaughn
rookie hype.
Yeah, they said Keyshawn Vaughn was going to be a top guy, and then all of a sudden,
exactly. So it's like I need a year or two in the NFL before they, at least the first year in the NFL. Let's just see really what you really got. Cole Kmet, I'm really not really fond of, nor Trevor Lawrence, but whatever their filler guys, gap guys at the end. I gave him a C though. I really didn't care for the team construction. I don't think it's going to mesh very well, and there's just too many holes to me, too many questions, and that's a C for the best.
There it is. I'll go next on this one. I came in at a B-. It was my number 8th ranked team. Seems like Jeezy was been doing a lot of dynasty startups. It looked like with this one coming out of dynasty season. So just really young team.
Rookie heavy.
Has a lot of just unknown but potential auto tickets that could go either way. Again, I love this team way more in dynasty than I do redraft. I just think it's too much.
Hey, you took the words out of my mouth. I should have said that. Sorry.
It's all good. That's why I got you here.
Yeah.
Well, we can definitely agree on the Pitts being too high.
Oh yeah, sure. And definitely took just Pitts, too high for me. If I'm not getting Kelsey or Andrews, even Kittle's falling off that tier for me. And as far as taking a tight end in the first 2 rounds, those are the only 2 guys, as you saw. I mean, to me, Andrews falling to the back half of the second to me I just couldn't pass him up there.
No.
For that type of positional advantage, there's just no way I can do it. So again, but he's the last guy I'm doing that with. I don't think any other, tight ends are worth it. No. And then just, you're stacking London with Kyle Pitts. So I don't really like that. You're stacking, Marcus Mariota, if you're going to do it with, target a better offense. If you are, I don't mind either one of those guys, but I'm not going both of them. And just too many question marks for me overall. So again, that's why it came in at number 8. Still B- again, because it could go either way. Just personally, it's a little bit down, on me. I mean, it's closer to the middle. It's a middle of the pack team because it could go either way.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I have them at 7. My 7th ranked team. I have more like a B. B plus. I like the wide receivers and the running backs as PPR options, to be quite honest. I like Akers for what he can, for the value that he got for him. 4th round is good for him. I like Judy before the injury, of course. Drake London, I think, like we said before, this is a very rookie heavy team, or, that one or two guys that are in their sophomore season. So it's incredibly young, but tons of talent. I hate the Pitts pick. I everywhere I draft, he is tight end 3, and I don't understand it. Like, I still can't wrap my mind around the concept that people think he's going to be the tight end 1, and that's why they're drafting him at tight end 3, thinking they get value. And I'm like, guys, you're not going to get value for Pitts unless you draft him after guys like Goddard and, Ertz and Schultz and like all those guys, because otherwise you get no value out of it. You literally are drafting him at his ceiling, and that's if he can even get that high. And and there's no guarantee that it goes that high. And especially with guys like Mariota. Now, I think Ritter takes over. Doesn't mean that Ritter's any better. And yes, I understand rookie quarterbacks tend to go to the tight end, and that's fine. But I don't see a rookie a rookie quarterback supporting a tight end 1. It just doesn't. I just can't see it. Trying to think. Yeah, I can't think of anything else for this.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
We'll move on
Well said.
for the sake of time.
Yeah.
And because I want to get to this next team.
Yeah,
I'm going to break this one down. Let's do it, man. So we got
the easiest.
Busty Chuck something or another.
Busty Chuck Bass.
Busty Chuck Bass? B-A-S-S?
Yes.
All that bass?
All that bass.
Busty Chuck Bass. How do you know? Is it bass or bass? We should ask our resident fisherman.
It's bass.
Oh, it is? You asked them? All right.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it. I've seen his team. I talked to him beforehand. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you verified that. That's insider stuff right there. All right. And Dustin, yes, the hat's back. Dim Boys did say something to me about it earlier. I did say that off. Yeah. And he said, take that stupid hat off, Anthony. So he's right there with you. Yeah. But it's staying on, guys, because it's my hat and it's my head. So
don't listen to them.
Do something
They're
about
just
it.
jealous.
All right. So Busty Chuck Bass comes in here in the 7th spot, goes Cooper Kupp. After going 6 running backs off the board in this one, gets the wide receiver 1, fantasy player number 1 overall in Cooper Kupp. Broke fantasy last year, then goes Leonard Fournette. And in the 2nd, follows that up with T. Higgins in the 3rd, then Michael Pittman in the 4th, then goes Elijah Mitchell, running back 2 in the 5th, grabs his RB3 and A.J. Dillon in the 6th, then grabs Lamar Jackson in the 7th, his first quarterback, then goes T.J. Hawkinson as his tight end in the 8th, grabs his wide receiver 4 and Christian Kirk in the 9th, followed by Chase Claypool, wide receiver, what is that now? 5?
That's 5.
In the 10th, yeah. And then goes wide receiver 6, Rondell Moore in the 11th, followed by Marlon Mack in the 12th as his RB4. Then goes Crowder and Peoples-Jones as 2 more wide receivers towards the end. A little overkill there. But when I put this team together I look at the starting positions and I just look at the overall depth and, of this team, just to me, the way he constructed it, he put it together, the way the talent, fell to him, I just feel like he made all the right picks as far as if I was in this position, I hope I would make these decisions. To me, this is my number 1 team. The team I would actually take over mine. I would just trade the whole team straight up for. The only team I would do that for, just reiterating that in this one. But it's this one here, man. Solid wide receiver core in those starting positions, especially starting 2 flexes. Nails his 3 running backs, and again has that wide receiver to make up, for not really having that wide receiver, that 4th RB. Again, as long as those guys stay healthy, I think you don't really have to worry about anything with these guys. Set it and forget it. Like this team, just A+ number 1 team to me all around. So there we are.
No, likewise. I honestly can't say much other than that. Probably one of the better wide receiver cores for this whole draft. I think he's got tons of upside with Crowder and Peoples-Jones, who a lot of people are sleeping on as well. They, a lot of people like the new fancy toy with David Bell, and honestly, I do too. I'm a big fan. I hear a lot of great things, and yeah, like RJ is saying, Flagboy and Busty crushed this mock, and they did. I do like those particular things. I think Mac has an opportunity to take over for Houston as well. It's going to be a competition between him and Pierce. The Claypool and Rondell Moore are probably the 2 picks that I'm like, who cares? But they're definitely, lotto picks at that point, so it doesn't matter. I do like Christian Kirk. I'm a little low on Hawkinson because of last year, but Goff did pretty well considering, the position he was in, and they're going to throw it a ton. So I'm fine with the Hawk pick. All the rest of the guys above are, I'm not a huge fan of Lamar, but the value you're getting him, what is he? Quarterback 5. I'm fine with that. So, Frank, what do you think?
I'm not in love with the team like as much as you guys are. I give him a B. I wasn't as high as, I just don't like the running back. Elijah Mitchell being up there with San Francisco and the whole situation that they always have with running back by committee. He's probably going to start A.J. Dillon, who's also, RB2 anyways. So that's why he's a B for me. I do like the Marlon Mack pick later on. You guys are, spot on the wide receiver core, and I like Lamar Jackson where he got him. Baby Gronk, let's see if he bounces back. But I'm at a B. I'm not as high on the running back, so that's why it dropped him off a little bit for me.
Okay, that's fair.
There it is.
Yeah.
So we're good there, man. We'll do it. We'll keep moving on. Yeah, I was gonna say, we're getting close. Yeah. I'm getting close to my hard out time, but I want to get through all these teams. So next one, whose turn is it? Did I just do that one? Who wants to go on this one?
Yeah, I can do this.
You want to do it?
Yeah, no, this is James Adams' team, our good old host co-host of his Fantastics. Check them out. Channel 87. They starred, he said, in July. So check them out.
He was our guest host, right, on Friday?
Yes, guest host on Friday.
Great guy.
So great guy. Oh, dude, I had a great time speaking with him after, and really great, solid guy. Can't wait. Hopefully we can get him on here again. It would be great. Absolutely. So he is Francis Dollarhide on here. Also love the team name. Big, just always gets to me there. For those who don't know, it's from Hannibal or from Red Dragon. Francis Dollarhide, the serial killer in Red Dragon. So for those who don't know,
the Hannibal Lecter series.
Yeah, the Hannibal.
Oh, I watched that.
Remember Red Dragon? That was a good one.
Yeah, Edward Norton. Great movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got Jamar Chase as his number 1 pick, with Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen right after that, with scary Terry McLaurin in the 4th pick. He's got Justin Herbert as the QB 3 off the board, which is incredible value. Ken Walker next, with Devontae Smith. Ronald Jones following up after that, with Kadarius Toney, Isaiah Spiller right after that, and then a great pick with Jarvis Landry, Raheem Mostert after that, with Hayden Hurst, his sleeper tight end, and one of mine as well, with Evan Ingram, another sleeper tight end as well. So for me, this is probably the 6th team off the board that I would like. I gave it more of a B+. I love the wide receivers. The running backs are a tad weak in my opinion, but they do have a ton of upside if they hit. And like I said before, I love the late round tight ends here with Hayden Hurst and Evan Ingram. I think one of them can hit, and if one of them do, they're gonna do well. Ronald Jones, I'm a huge fan of. He could be an RB2, but if it's full PPR, I'm probably not aiming for him. I might be going for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. A lot more than I would be Ronald Jones. Half PPR, I'm probably aiming more for Jones. And the value he got with Herbert is incredible. He should be the 2nd guy off the board. So, yeah. What about you?
I'll go next. So for this one, this is one of my between him and Flag Dog. I kind of had them. I kept kind of going back and forth, and even up until this point, I'm still thinking if I want to kind of swap them. But now as I'm looking at it, I realize why I had James here at my number 3 team and had Flag Dog as my number 4. And to me, it's just because of it being the PPR and the type of guys he has. I just think just the talent, potential on this team is huge. Obviously is, rough, on that RB2 and kind of later as far as, that goes. But I'm I'm kind of changing my philosophy, especially in PPR. You know, the way these running backs and the game is just shifting overall. You know, I'm kind of getting away from that running back early and often. To me, in these PPR, I like having these, you know, wide receiver builds. You know, I lean heavier that way, especially if you can have, you know, I think my favorite strategy right now is like a hero or, you know, anchor RB, as they call it. And just kind of getting that one guy and then having that RB2, because you know things are going to happen throughout the year. You'll be able to trade for a guy, you know, get them off waivers. You know, there's going to be a 1 or 2 RB1s that you can, you know, grab typically off the wire each year.
Undrafted. Yeah.
And so if you just kind of plan for that, or just, you know, have some guys on your team in case, you know, those guys do get hurt and they are the next people up and you have them, I think his positional advantage is good there. I just wanted to say I have a ton of shares of Hurst and Ingram in best ball. And that's just because of the value where they're going. I want to fill those other positions, you know, more than that tight end spot on my best ball team. So I find myself following those guys there. And actually Bellinger, Mike, you'd probably be proud of me. I have him on a couple of best ball teams.
Yeah, Bellinger is going to be a sneaky pick, guys.
Yeah, at the end of the year, man. I'm
really like Bellinger.
I'm warming up to him. Been diving into my tight end stats and just, you know, outlook. And he's
Bellinger and McBride. Those are the two.
Yeah, I find them creeping up my list there a little bit. But yeah, either way, again, trying to go off a little off tangent here. But James, again, really appreciate you coming out for us here. I gave it an A-, my number 3 ranked team. Let me start with this team, and you know, I feel like I go a long way with it. So that's where I'm at.
Wow, you guys went hell of a left. No, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the running backs. Just to keep it short and sweet. I do like the Isaiah Spiller pick where he took him at. I don't see Rojo touching the ball as much. I mean, how many touches is he really going to get behind CEH and Leonard Fournette? You know what I mean? And
Leonard's not there anymore. Leonard's on Tampa Bay.
Ronald Jones is on Kansas City. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, they're on Kansas City.
All right. Either way, he's still.
I think he's the goal line back there. I think he's the goal line.
He's goal line and RB1 there.
Yeah. He's the goal line back on one of the top offenses, and that was the one area where CH lacked last year was those. Yeah. You know, goal line touches. Right? So
okay, well, maybe you talk me.
We know he can't catch the ball.
A little bit better, but regardless, he still ends up with 2 rookie running backs in Ken Waller and Isaiah Spiller, right?
Yes.
And that's basically what I'm trying to get at is like it's kind of weak there, and that's
agreed. It's definitely weak. They have upside because Walker has the ability to take over that Seattle backfield.
Yeah, we agree with that. But I'm just saying it's weak, regardless of they have upside. All these other guys had upsides, and we're always talking about the other guys as upsides. As in when we were talking about G-Eazy that was drafting like it was dynasty team, and I think that that's what he has in this team. He has a team that was like these later picks were like dynasty picks later on. I did like what he did with the tight ends at the end, though, just taking 2 and let's see what sticks to the wall. Approach there. I thought that was good, but I'd give him a B. You know, and I wasn't as high as you guys are.
Okay, there it is. We got to have some contrarian takes, man. We can't all be. If we're all just like, oh yeah, this is this, and no one would watch, man. No one would watch. So that's what we got to do. All right, so moving on. You guys want me to do this one?
Yeah, you can do this one because you
had the most notes.
we've been waiting the whole time on this one. All right, man. So we got Dim Boys here, as we know, OG of the show. So I can go a little hard on him. Like you guys said, my show notes were the longest on this team because he's been with us the longest. So I think he deserves the longest breakdown. You know, he gives us a lot of his time, so I'm going to give him a lot of mine. So starting off, and mind you, his wife is drafting in this draft too. So, you know, just to put things into perspective. So, Dim Boys comes in here. Love the first pick in Justin Jefferson. Wide receiver 3 off the board, so I think he got some good value there in the 9 spot. Follows that up with Alvin Kamara in his RB1 in the 2nd round. Then gets Josh Jacobs to fall to him in the 3rd, followed by DJ Moore in the 4th. Then goes the running back we were just talking about, CH in the 5th. Great value there. Then goes Michael Thomas in the 6th, followed by Cordell Patterson in the 7th. Goes Chris Olave. Wide receiver for New Orleans in the 9th. Then goes Jamison Williams, rookie wide receiver in Detroit, coming off his ACL. Should be ready probably after their week 6 bye. Probably expecting back week 7.
Yeah.
Then he goes the GOAT, Tom Brady in the 10th, grabs his quarterback, followed by the tight end and Dawson Knox in the 11th, Marquez Valdez-Scantling in the 12th, wide receiver for Kansas City, slot guy over there. Then grabs one of my favorite, picks here. Maybe not so much favorite now. That it definitely
one of
seems
my
like
favorites.
Watson's moving sometime.
Doesn't matter.
So who knows? But is still a nice little target. And David Bell here in the 12th, or what is that, 13th? And then follows that up with backup QB 2 and Justin Fields in the 14th. So overall, I mean, if I was just kind of grading this team, in week 14, if everyone's healthy and playing, easily an A on this team to me. The fact that we're grading this thing on June 6th at 9:09 p.m. On a Monday, I had to come in and grade this as a C. And
Really?
Yeah.
It's to me, I just can't. Well, first and foremost, I can't give him a higher grade than the wife. Just first and foremost. So I gave her a C plus.
Yeah.
So I had to come in with a C for him. So that's just out of the gate. But regardless of that, he came in as my 12th ranked team. And that's just because for me, just like he said with my team, these are all a bunch of guys that I'm fading. These are just guys I'm not personally high on. I think there's just too much risk. There's just guys I'm not touching at the values, that they're at. Of course, Justin Jefferson I like, and I mentioned the guys, throughout as I was reading the names off, but that whole Kamara, Jacobs, DJ Moore, Michael Thomas, Cordell Patterson, and then getting, stacking Olave with Thomas, and then I love Jamison Williams though, so don't get me wrong. The construction is perfect, grabbing those skill positions and then waiting on your quarterback and tight end. Again, don't get me wrong, this is an A draft. As far as construction goes, it's just these specific guys, besides, the few I mentioned, Bell, Jameson, CH at that value, and then Jefferson. Otherwise, those guys I'm just not touching. So for me, and this is just me personally, if I was taking over these 12 teams, this would be the last team I would pick if I had the option.
What? Oh my God.
So just for me, again, don't hate me, them boys. It's nothing personal. I love you. Just this draft, I wasn't having it with this, just the way they all came together. I know you're big on these guys, and I know we could debate this for hours, which is what I love about you. And let's please do. We'll take it offline on this one. But for the most part, like I said, if I'm grading it week 14, I'm loving this team. But on June 6th, I can't fucks with it right now.
Hey, I'm just gonna go a complete opposite of what you just said.
Don't you worry, Frank. I'm in the same boat.
I'm not gonna sit back and sugarcoat it. The construction's perfect. I think, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way he's supposed to be drafted. The way the positions fell, as you mentioned. I like the players that he chose. I think that's all gonna fall in perfectly. And this is probably the number 2 or number 1 team for me. The way as I looked at the draft, I was like, this. I kind of fell in love with it right off the bat. I was like, this is the kind of team I want, and mostly because of the way he drafted. It has a lot to do with the construction of the draft. Wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back. Just the way it fell. You know what I mean? Like everybody, and if you could tell, he's picking with a purpose in those positions. I think you're knocking it a little bit more than you want to try it, because I think it's a good team. It's definitely an A team, and definitely one or two. You know what I mean? Position 1 or 2 that you take out of this draft. Mike?
Yeah, no, for sure. I have at my third best team and at an A-. I mean, honestly, I really like this team. I drafted this team under the impression Kamara's going to be playing if everything kind of goes the right way. And, I know that a video came out and blah, 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 blah. But right. I graded this that he's playing, that, he's there this year. And
there's 3 Saints players on the team.
That's fine.
And 2 of them might not even be playing to start.
Away. Yeah, I don't care.
You can't grade it based on who's going to trade away.
I don't care.
Man.
I like the offense.
We're moving the goalposts for them boys now.
Who's not playing?
Is that what we're doing?
Kamara's maybe the only one that's not playing. Thomas is
DJ Moore doesn't even have a quarterback to throw it to him. Thomas
DJ Moore is my only one part of this team that I have to point out. And honestly, I would have went at that, having the options available to me at that point: Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle, Mike Williams, Sutton, Metcalf, Godwin, Amari Cooper, Jerry. I would have picked any of those guys over,
Over Moore.
DJ Moore.
It's probably the DJ Moore hate I have.
It is, and honestly, it's not the player; it's the scheme
situation.
And situation.
Offenses is that he's targeting. He's targeting New Orleans. He's targeting the Raiders, Carolina.
No, I can give him that. No,
Atlanta,
I can understand that.
Detroit.
I know where you're trying to go.
Cleveland without Watson for 8 games. I'm not. That's too much risk.
Honestly, I'm fine with Cleveland. It doesn't matter if it's Baker or Watson. I'm fine either way. With the Bell pick, I think Bell can do well with whoever. Honestly, I'm not really concerned about it. I like the value he got. CEH, the Patterson pick, I like. I don't mind the Chris Olave pick. I understand he has Michael Thomas too and Kamara. I get all that, understood. But every part of this team it's a lot more to work with than a lot of the other teams that you can kind of trade off and do more with. And they have a little more value and a little bit risk in there too. So it's just better in my opinion. That's all.
Drunk Squidward, of course, saying DJ Moore is such a beast, and he's also saying the Panthers, being the Panthers, are going to start Matt Corral in week 8.
It's going to be week 4.
I just think they're weak in general. All right, so let's move on because I'm getting close to my hard out time. You guys might have to take over for me, but either way, we'll try to power through these. I'll just do this next one here with Wilson. As we know, Ambassador Extraordinaire. Wilson, sir. I wish I could spend the amount of time on you and the thanks and praise, but I think we do it every show. As you know, it doesn't go, unappreciated or unnoticed, like Mike said. So again, so much love for you helping us grow the channel and the people you've connected us with to help us just grow as analysts as well.
Yes, sir.
Or pretend analyst, I don't know, whatever you want to call us, right? I mean, we dive into these stats and we dive into this thing and we put the work in and roll our sleeves up to get this stuff done for you and bring you guys this content. So Wilson, man, drafting out of the 10 spot goes, as we know, running backs early and often. He goes Mixon, Williams, Hall. When I was first watching the draft, I think I started telling everybody
it's my team.
I put $10 on it that Mike was going to end up with Mixon and Williams. So I think I maybe put it out there to make sure he didn't grab those guys.
That's why he did it. That's exactly what he did. I wanted to
see Mike not be in his comfort zone and see what kind of team he could throw together for me. So we'll get to that here soon. Can't wait for that. Especially after what you guys said about my team. I have to change my grade over here. Yeah. Anyway, so he goes again, Mixon in his 1 spot, Javonte Williams in the 2 second round. Then he goes Breece Hall with his 3rd pick. Then he goes Deontay Johnson in round 4, followed by Hollywood Brown in round 5. Then goes Treylon Burks as a wide receiver 3. And again, this is a 3 wide receiver league. And in the 6th, followed by Melvin Gordon in the 7th. Then goes with number 807, but at the 803 spot, and Tyler Lockett. Then he goes Matt Stafford in the 9th, followed by Pat Fairmouth in the 10th. Grabs Jacoby Myers, the guy who's allergic to touchdowns, in the 11th, followed by Mike Gesicki in the 12th. A little OBJ action, a little lotto ticket there in the 13th, and then a little handcuff and Khalil Herbert in the 14th, which I do like as well. So overall, just quickly for me, and then I'll let you guys get into it. I gave this team a B. It's my number 7th ranked team. Just would have taken a wide receiver, Fournette, Aaron Jones, someone like that, instead of Javonte Williams in the 2nd round. It's just, to me, hard to start with 3 wide receivers in a 3 wide receiver PPR league. I think you're kind of behind the 8 ball. I think you need to grab at least 1 receiver in the first 3 picks. Just me personally, is how I would feel comfortable enough. Ideally, in the first 2 picks, you want one of those to be your receiver again, which is why I kind of lean that anchor or hero RB type strategy. Other than that, I'll kind of keep it there, short and sweet, B grade, and number 7th ranked team. Nice. What you got, Frank? I'll throw it to you.
I was right with you on the B grade. I think you hit the nail on the head, starting with 3 running backs back to back, kind of put him behind the ball on the wide receivers, and that's where I thought he fell off. And overall, I do like the construction of the team. Obviously, getting Matthew Stafford was nice late. I think that's a good spot. I think that a lot of people took in the round 9. We're getting Murray, Wilson, Hurts, Rodgers, and then him, Stafford. It was a good
Decent
time
value
to
late.
decent value late. Exactly, it was a sweet
Yeah.
spot to take those quarterbacks in that round. With that being said, though, I still think he hurts his team with those 3 running backs up top. I don't think it's going to help him, but obviously he could trade away if somebody does very well, and he could get himself another true number 1 wide receiver to help his team out. But that's what gives him a B.
Yeah.
There it is, Mike.
Yeah, I got him as the 14. The 4th team I'd line. It was between him and them boys for the 3rd, 4th. I was jumping back and forth. Normally this is what I draft. This is literally the team that I draft every time. So I do like this team a lot. In that perspective, I think he's got. Yeah, I think he's got. He's got 4 solid, running backs that can literally, win your league with those 4 guys, in my opinion. Then you get, Devontae Johnson, Brown and Burks. I think Burks, as much as Drunk Squidward wants him to be the wide receiver 1 for the Titans, I do think he's a little bit. I think he's more the 2 with Woods there. I think Woods is going to do well there. And he's an incredible value a little bit later in drafts because everyone likes the new shiny toy. But I do like Burks in general. He's a big,
unless he's this year's Chaser Jefferson, then
I doubt it. He's a good player. I just don't see it with Ryan Tannehill not happening and a run-based offense not happening.
And a healthy Henry.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, otherwise, I really do, like this. I like this team a lot. So I can't really say much more about it.
Classic Mike, 3 running backs. You knew he's going to like it. 2 of them are the guys he wants. So if you can't get 2, the only thing better than 2 is 3. All right. So there we go. Wilson, appreciate it. Appreciate it, man.
Sure.
Nice draft. You definitely know what you're doing. And we'll see you again, I'm sure, soon. So appreciate you coming out. 11th spot, man. We have a Lord of Fantasy sighting. One of my favorite guys. He was he was came with us about early last year. I think he came with us about the middle of the summer. So he's been with us for a while. Best part about Lord of Fanta is his name used to actually be Lord of Fantasy, except for his name got cut off, and we kept calling him Lord of Fanta, and then he actually changed it to Lord of Fanta. So much respect for you there, Lord of Fanta. It's better, dude. It worked out, and that's just how it is. So he'll forever be known as Lord of Fanta for us. So go ahead, Frank. You want to break this one down, or who went?
Well, it's similar to Wilson's team here. Obviously, he went 3 running backs right off the bat: DeAndre Swift, Nick Chubb, Travis Etienne, which is either a detriment to the team or one of the better highlights of the team. I really don't care for George Kittle there at that spot. I think that's where he needed to take his wide receiver for sure, but he ended with Juju Smith-Schuster, Alan Thielen, and Hunter Renfrow. 1, 2, 3 after that, taking James Cook later on, Alan Lazard, which is probably maybe a sleeper
on Alan Lazard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, he might be a pretty good pick there.
Why are we drafting Kadarius Toney before Alan Lazard?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right?
go ahead. I'm sorry, Frank. I'm sorry. It's just I don't know the Alan.
And then we
Lazard.
got Dak Prescott that I thought he got in, great value at in the 10th. After all these other guys that I was just talking about in the 9th that went, he still ended up getting Dak Prescott, which I think is going to be, the steal of his draft. And then backed it up with Trey Lance, which I don't really care for. I mean, you could just whatever.
Me too, Frank.
A Pierce, in Indy, Ito Smith, and then it was this Travis. I don't even know.
Irv Smith, but it's okay.
Yeah, Irv Smith with Travis Davis
Price.
Yeah.
Price, yeah.
Oh, it's Irv Smith.
Another
sorry, Ito Smith. Yeah, you're right. Irv Smith. You're right. But I mean, he's taking lawn darts on the last guy there. I don't know, what he's going to do in San Francisco. You tell me, Anthony.
Well, it's just like it's just like you said about Elijah Mitchell. This is the guy you got to worry about. This is a 6'1", 220 pound.
He's a big dude.
Back, and that's where Niners struggled last year on the goal line. And of course, just trying to keep Mitchell healthy. you might see this guy come in and kind of play that Lindell White role.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Thunder and
by
lightning.
that note, I think that's great. But at that point, he already's got like 5 running backs, which is really running back heavy, which is we like to see it, especially in the redraft league. I just thought he could have got a couple more, just better wide receivers, just because of the way the team fell to him. I do like the people that he has, the running backs that he has, and hopefully he could trade away to get some better wide receivers. And some of these other pieces, like you're saying, Travis Davis, Pierce over here, will be, replacing somebody like Etienne or Chubb later on in this team, that he could actually do so to trade somebody off. But I ended up giving a B anyways, because we do like a lot of running backs early and often. So
yeah, I went with a B or a B minus at my 8th ranked team. I think a lot of the wide receiver, like, he doesn't have a solid wide receiver 1 that you could actually like say is going to be the RB1 or the wide receiver 1 for the team. Maybe Juju out of that group is the only guy, maybe, and Lazard. But beyond that, Juju, I like Juju as the better passing option out of that Kansas City, wide receiver group. I think he'll be the possession receiver. So it's not a horrible pick. I do like the wide receivers. They're slept on. Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfrow, those guys are very safe picks. So they're not horrible wide receivers in my opinion. Same with the running backs. I do like what he did. You're getting Etienne as your 3rd running back. I prefer that over getting him as my 2nd running back, because that tends to happen. Where a lot of people are very high on him, and that's fine, but he hasn't had a snap in the NFL yet. Give him a minute. I understand that he's, recovering and blah, blah, blah. Liz Frank injuries can stay around for a minute. So just remember that. I do like I like the Alec Pierce pick. That's probably one of my favorite picks out of this whole group. And Travis Davis, what we saw last year with Elijah Mitchell, who was drafted in the 6th round and ended up, becoming something. And, that Kyle Shanahan thing, you're never going to get the same guy twice. And, he's proven that for the last few years, where the number 1 running back for that team has never been the same person. So just be cognizant of that particular, situation.
There it is.
Otherwise, I like it.
Yeah, I think that's where he got hurt, is the Cook pick. Now that I look at it,
well, I like Cook.
You like Cook?
I
just
Cook.
Wouldn't take him there though.
I don't mind that.
Nobody's going to take him from you.
I think he would have lost him otherwise. When you're at the 11th spot,
but what are you worried about losing if you already got 3 solid running backs?
Because he wanted to. I guarantee he was.
Only thing better than 3 is 4, Frank.
Yeah, I
say it though. I would have liked the team better with another wide receiver there, I guess.
Okay,
there it is.
That's fair.
All right, and just quickly for me, I came in at a B plus. It was my number 5 ranked team. I just think, like you guys said, getting Kittle right there. If he would have grabbed any of those wide receivers to me besides Waddle or Deontay,
I agree.
I think he's looking good. Whether it's Pittman, DK, someone like that, any of those guys that were taken in that round. Mike Williams, even. I think this team looks a little better. So for that's why it fell a little bit, or else it definitely would have been, probably top 3 for me. So yeah, number 5 and a B plus.
Nice.
All right. So we'll move on.
Mike here on the last one.
Get to the last one, yeah, for Mike.
Last one.
So who read that one off? You did, Frank. So I guess I'll go ahead and do this one.
So
Mike's not doing his own, unless you want to do your own team, Mike.
No,
I'll do my own team.
His own team. You did
I can read off my team. I'll let you guys I'll let you guys get your picks or your results. So I got
read off your team, and I'll break it down first.
So I got the 12 spot here, which is very rare for me. I don't normally get that spot, but it's fine. I want to learn, what I get here. I get Devontae Adams with Stephon Diggs at the turn. Then I get coming back J.K. Dobbins with Josh Allen. Then Damien Harris right after that, picking up Dalton Schultz. Then from, coming back around, I get Devin Singletary with Robert Woods. I then take a little bit of a flyer on James Robinson and getting Kenny Golladay as well. I want any piece of that Giants offense. I don't care who.
I don't know.
Then we got DJ Chark right after that with J.D. McKissick. And then I thought I'd grab another Cowboy just in case with Jalen Tolbert and
can't leave the draft without a Cowboy, Mike.
Yeah, I need one.
We know
Cowboy.
classic. This is classic Mike. Classic Mike move.
Can't
leave the draft without a Cowboy. I like that Cousins pick as almost Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant for your team.
Yeah.
So I'll break down real quick here our last team in the 12th spot. I came in here with Mike as a B. He's my number 6 ranked team. To me, I liked it because it was just different guys. So he just already got kind of a
there you
higher
go.
looking grade than me. I wouldn't even guess this was his team if he would have took the names off it. I for sure would have thought he was drafted in Wilson's spot. I would have put everything I had on it. But he surprised me here. But again, the reason why he kind of came in the middle of the pack for me, there's just some things that that I wasn't just too fond of. I had a triple stack of Buffalo players there.
Yeah.
Obviously Josh Allen, you can't argue with that. But go Singletary and Diggs. I don't mind the Allen Diggs but Singletary when you're getting that guy at that value.
Producing team last year, so
Yeah,
I don't mind
that's
that.
a high potent offense. I don't mind
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like if you are going to do it, at least do it with that type of offense, not like Jeezy did with Atlanta and Mariota. Like you don't want to start stacking those kind of guys. But if you're on the number one offense, it's not bad. But again, it's probably some guys you'll end up wanting to trade off here or there. But again, you're getting good value at those picks. So I don't hate it. I thought it was a strange Damien Harris pick. I didn't know you're that high on him.
I'm not. I had no
like
real value
pick there.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of AJ Dillon as an option,
or Sanders.
Kenny
To me would have been
but Sanders.
Better.
I'm so in between on Sanders. I'd rather go with someone that I trust a little more. But the offense, I'm not
the New England. You trust the Bill Belichick New England backfield instead of the guy who's the number one on their team. He's just been hurt a little bit. So, but again, that's just how you play.
I like how I just like how Harris plays. I think he has a better running style, and I think that they can do more to help. I'm not. I like the Belichickian.
Wait, other people can't defend themselves on their teams. I don't know if you can defend yourself.
Yeah, you can.
You just have to sit back and take it. I sat back quiet and took it.
I
didn't rebuttal against you guys at all.
The only thing I'm going to say about Harris is the concept of the Belichick.
I just took it like a man because I knew I was going to dish it out here in the 12. I knew I was going to give it back to you, so you just got to sit back.
Honestly, I do like the Damien Harris pick. I like them over AJ Dillon that he's got. I like where he took Dalton Schultz in the 6th. I like Bobby Trees in the 8th. Overall, the way his team felt at the 12th pick, I think he did a pretty good job of constructing it and taking what he could where he could as far as certain players like James Robinson later on, and Kelly Galladay, DJ Shark. I really didn't care for, and Judy McKissick. But I think he finished.
You mentioned his 2 worst picks of the draft.
And Kirk Cousins. That's why I mentioned that. Because he did not do well there.
Oh, okay.
I think he finished strong with Tolbert and Cousins, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
There you go. Okay.
So it is what it is. You know what I mean? But overall, it's not a bad team. It's pretty decent, dude.
Yeah, it's there.
I think it'll.
I look for a lot of value.
Very well for him. I think he's one of those teams that could be kind of a sleeper team that it kind of just plugs along. It doesn't have flashy names, but they get the points done week in and week out.
Adams and Diggs are flashy.
Well, I know, what I mean, but I mean the rest of the core guys. Allen, like I'm talking like the running backs and things like that. They're not.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I was so upset when I had to draft like Dobbins, and I'm not a big fan of Dobbins at all. But
right,
it is what it is. They're on a run. He's
it's like
I
know if you didn't want. You don't like people as ETN with their RB2. I definitely know you weren't trying to grab ETN as your RB1.
Well, I couldn't, but either way.
I mean, even if you did, can you imagine? So I know you would rank your team low just based on that comment alone.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
If you're getting a guy that you have ranked lower than ETN as your RB1, you're down there at 6.
If I'm ranking my team, it's probably more in the 9 range, and or like a low B. No, it's not one of my best drafts. Like I can sit here and tell you that.
He didn't get mixing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get mixing unless I'm in the top 5-6 picks. So for me, it's not happening.
Not in this one, man. Not in this.
No, not in this.
So that's awesome. That was good, man.
Yeah.
So fun draft. We're at our time limit here. So we'll start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Again, just real quick, as you guys see in the corner over there, underdogfantasy.com. Make sure you use that promo code GetRight. Check them out. Deposit match up to $100. Take advantage of it, man. That's free money. Put it out there. Try to make some more money. That's what's up. And again, for all of us here at Get Right, unless there's anything else you guys have to say at this point, make sure you, if you're already a subscriber, hit that like button for us. And if you haven't liked it and you're watching and you liked what you saw here, or even if you didn't like it, we'd appreciate the subscribe either way. Um,
Yeah.
Just help us out. We're trying to get that 1,000 mark. And we're on our way, man. Slowly but surely getting there. We appreciate you guys for sharing it. So again, unless there's anything else you guys have to say, for myself, for Classic Mike, for our special guest Frank. Nah, what's up, Frank? Glad you're here, dude. Missed you, man. For all of us here, of course, for Dustin holding it down. Again, big special thanks for James for joining us. Check the description. Make sure you check out the link to his Twitter and his podcast. Everything's there for them, so check them out. We're going to continue to
XM Radio.
yeah,
87.
and Sirius XM Radio. There you go, Mike. Plug it. We're getting big time guests here on Get Right. So again, just stick with us here, man. Share the love. Get us out there. We're going to keep working hard behind the scenes, rolling those sleeves up, and bringing you guys, some good content here. Hopefully, some good guests to give us, different takes instead of hearing our own all the time. So we hope you've been appreciating that. So again, I think it's probably the longest outro ever. Other than that, man,
I
peace
like
out.
Mike's new background. It's good stuff. Peace
Thanks,
out,
That's
guys.
a good one.
Nice.
Later.
Later, guys.